Conversations with Nicole. Conversations with Nicole. Let's talk about it. Tell me all about it. I'm here. I wanna know what's on your mind. Ooh, the world needs to hear from you, and I'm so glad to have a conversation to reach the nation. And it's all about you. We'll help each other to discover innovative ways to positively change the world. Let's talk about, let's talk about, yeah. Let's talk about conversations with Nicole.
Hey, oh, damn, to my own song. Hey, welcome to Conversations with Nicole. I am Nicole Everett, your host, and Conversations with Nicole is a talk show based in Tallahassee, Florida, focused on connecting the community through conversations. And today is what I call Mindset Monday. Mindset Monday is an opportunity for you, me, and my guests to talk about whatever it is we want to talk about. And today we are gearing up for Black Maternal Health Week, which is April 11th through 17th. And so my very special guest is going to have a discussion with me around the theme of Black Maternal Health Week 2023, which is Our Bodies Belong to Us, Restoring Black Autonomy and Joy. Our bodies belong to us, restoring Black autonomy and joy. So before I bring my very special guest on, Miss Keshia Jenkins, I want to hear from you. Where are you tuning in from? Some of you all were already in the comments on YouTube before I played the theme song. I appreciate it. So I got to give you greetings. My cousin Denise, always here. I appreciate you tuning in from Texas. Thank you for being here. Mr. Samuel Simon, thank you for being here, who is here in Tallahassee. Cousin Raymond in VA, appreciate you. My godmom, Corliss in Miami, thank you for being here. Mr. Rattler, Delbert Floyd, down in South Florida, thank you for being here. Miramar, Florida. We also have Miss Nicole Jefferson, who will be my guest soon in weeks to come. Thank you for being here. And my mom is on in Miami. Thank you for being here, Ma. I appreciate you. All right, so you all need to tag a friend and let them know they need to be on here. Join the conversation. This is an interactive live, and we fully expect to hear from you. So bring your questions, bring your comments. We want to hear from you. This is a safe space for us to communicate with one another. And what better topic to talk about than Black maternal health? I see you, Mama Yada. Thank you for being here. Trisha, appreciate you so much. Right here in Tallahassee. She is ready to go. All right. So I'm going to read Miss Keshia's bio. Keshia Jenkins lives in Tallahassee, Florida. She serves as an ally for maternal health and an advocate for early childhood education. Born in Jacksonville, Florida, Duval, Keshia's passion for maternal health is fueled by her own journey into motherhood. Keshia worked as an early childhood educator for almost 20 years. 11 of those years was on Tallahassee South Side, and she saw firsthand how a mother's mental health can have an impact on her family. She is currently the chapter chair for the Florida Association for Infant Mental Health, with the hopes of aiding early childhood educators in obtaining certification that can benefit the families they serve. She has lent her voice to legislation for the expansion of pregnancy, Medicaid, and is working as a doula locally. And we'll talk about what a doula is for those of you who may not know. During her transition from the classroom into policy and advocacy, Keshia earned several certifications, including 3 doula certifications, registered behavioral technician, and infant mental health endorsement, which is the letters behind her name, which I had not heard of before now. So I'm super excited to learn more about that. Keshia holds 3 degrees in early childhood education, 2 from Tallahassee Community College, and her Bachelor's of Arts degree from St. Leo University. She is currently enrolled at the Florida State University, where she is working to obtain her Master's of Education in special education, as well as the University of North Florida, pursuing her Master's of Education in Curriculum and Instruction. She's super smart, y'all. Keshia was honored in the 2022-23 Cherry Hill Alexander Tallahassee Community College African American History Calendar. She is Miss April, y'all. She's a calendar girl. And she is part of the inaugural cohort of emerging policy professionals of color with the Alliance for Early Success. Y'all, help me welcome Miss Keshia Jenkins.
Hey.
Hey.
Hey, everyone. Look, hearing you read that, it was like, whoa.
Yeah, that's you, girl. That's you. All that. All of that. All of that. Yes, yes, yes. All right. So folks are clapping you up, cheering you on. Paulette said
Appreciate
Keshia
you.
is the truth. Yada said, you better do it, Keshia. Come on.
Thanks, Yada.
Yes, yes, yes. And we got Ozzy on in Virginia Beach. Thank you for being here. And Denise is saying welcome. And Samuel is giving you some accolades as well. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate you. Yeah. So tell the peoples. I mean, we already talked about some of who you are, but I want to know, who is Keshia outside of all of these, wonderful degrees and letters behind your name and all of that. Tell us a little bit more about who is Keshia Jenkins.
Keshia is a mom. I am a mom of 4 amazing humans, and they are my greatest accomplishments. So, outside of everything else that I do for the community, my greatest joy is being a mom to my 4 kiddos. And I do shout them out in everything that I do because they are what has fueled my work, either in early childhood, my doula work, and now some of the work I'm doing with special education. So outside of all of that, I am a mom, I am a sister, I am a cousin, I am a dear friend. And I think most of all, I am just mostly smiles. I love laughing and I love connecting people with resources.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And we feel and sense all of that when we are in your presence and across this live as well. All right. So we have Leonardo Turtle
Hey,
says, hey.
turtle.
Okay. All right. So I want to, before we dive into our topic, what was also not mentioned in the bio was that you are the owner of Brainy Babies Early Learning and the CEO of Brain Building Consulting. So tell us a little bit about those organizations.
Okay, so brand building consulting came about because when I kind of transitioned out of the classroom, I realized that some of the laws that were being passed were going to adversely affect most of our minority centers. So, Brain Building Consulting is a consulting agency that goes into early learning centers, and I assist them with developing policy and procedures, adhering to state regulations, and using the resources that they have to provide the best quality of education for their children. I'm also a class assessor, which is a state mandated assessment for early learning. And I'm also a coach. So I'm able to go into centers and help them like just make sure their classrooms are up to par for quality. And so they continue to provide the service. Brainy Babies Early Learning was born out of a necessity. So I am a single mother and I've always worked several jobs. That is just what I did for a very long time to make things happen for myself. And during COVID, I realized that a lot of moms were working at Walmart or different places and they didn't have a place to take their babies that was safe. So Brainy Babies is only open on nights and weekends. I do not offer services throughout the day. I only offer it on nights and weekends to just help that population of parent find a safe, loving environment for their children to be while they're working, so they're not worried. So that is why I have both of those businesses.
Nice, nice. Okay, that's good to know. Good to know.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right, so Leonardo is
Oh, it's my
Sabrina.
friend. Hey,
She
Sabrina.
said his my son set up the account. Listen, the babies be ruling, so
Yes, don't I know?
All right, so um, let's dive in. I'm really kind of interested in this topic of our bodies belonging to us and restoring Black autonomy and joy. And again, this is interactive, so for the viewers, please, let us know what your questions and comments may be. We got Deborah Johnson. Thank you for being here. So, yeah, let us know what your questions and comments might be in the comments in the chat. So, our bodies belonging to us. When you hear that, what do you think about?
I think about taking it back, right? So we know that in the history of the Black woman in America, we were often, we didn't have that autonomy. It was taken from us. So
Mhm.
when I hear about that, it's owning it, taking it back, saying that this is my body, this is what I'm going to do, this is how we're going to do this.
Mhm.
A great doula friend of mine, she says it best, commanding the room. So when
Mm,
you're going in these places, this is your body, this is who you are. So just kind of owning it, like these are my breasts, this is my body, it belongs to me. I'm gonna own it and I am comfortable with it.
yes. So you mentioned doula, and I know I said we were going to talk about that. So tell the folks what's the difference between, well, what is a doula and the difference between a doula and a midwife?
So the biggest difference between a doula and a midwife has training. They have obstetric training, which means that they have gone through the formal nursing classes or the classes for that. A doula, I'm a support. I am there to guide you through the laboring process. I'm there for support. I'm there for guidance. I'm there to help you have the labor that you want to have. So that includes birth plans. That includes getting to know you beforehand. That is a very intimate, for me, it's a very intimate profession. Like we are there with you before you have the baby. We're there with you when you have baby, and we're there with you once baby is born, right? So we
Mhm.
don't leave you. We're there just to guide you and support you through this process. And a part of owning our own bodies is that oftentimes women, we don't know. We truly don't know what we can and cannot say, what we can and cannot do. And so having that doula in place helps you own that autonomy. Tell them, like, you can tell the doctors you want these lights off. That is your right, So just giving them the words and the verbiage to advocate for themselves, but also being a voice in the room that advocates for them as well.
Wonderful. I mean, I think, we are hearing more and more about doulas, probably more so than ever before. So it's just good to know that there is this birthing support and team that's not just the doctor, the nurse, the father of the baby, or even other family members, but that these certified individuals are coming to support and make sure, as you and I talked the other day, make sure that this baby gets here safely.
Yeah. Make sure
Mhm.
baby gets here safely, and then mom is okay afterwards.
Yeah.
We know about him, we eternal death. And so make sure that baby's okay, mom is okay too. So
Mm.
that is our primary but we're not new. And that's something that I want people to understand, that doulas aren't new. Just because we're hearing more about it, we're not new. Decades, Black women have been in community during birth. So
Mhm.
we doing this work. It has a name and certifications and funding behind it, but we've been.
Yes. Look like, okay, Keshia with us. All right. We got a
I'm
few
here.
people.
I'm here. Did
Okay.
I bounce out?
Yeah, I did a little bit, but we're good. So let me just give a shout out to Shanae, who's over in Arkansas, I believe. My sister Shayla down in South Florida, and my classmate, my high school classmate Sharice, who I believe is in Atlanta. So Samuel wants to know, how important is it for a mother to have that support?
I believe now more than ever, because women, especially Black mothers, our voices are not being heard in the delivery rooms. They're not
Mm,
listening. So to have that support, especially kind of like Shanae said, in the middle of a maternal health crisis, is invaluable, because you have
mm,
someone there who is able to speak up for you when you can't, or to help you through this process, to help you understand what's happening to you. Because things can happen so fast and you don't even know what's happening. So
yeah.
that is the importance of that support for mom, and it goes far beyond just mom. I've been in rooms most recently where mom had to go down for a C-section. I sat with her babies, so
Mhm.
it's about supporting the entire family.
Indeed. Paulette said, love this topic. I agree with Keisha. Not many know that they have a number of options if they do not agree with the treatment provided. This is why doulas are important. And also that many don't know that some health plans offer coverage for them.
Yes, she is correct
Mhm.
that Florida is one of the, I think, 1 out of 4 states that do offer doula coverage under their Medicaid plan.
Wow.
So it's important. Yes, it's important to ask those questions, or to know that there are doulas who are Medicaid. We accept Medicaid in the state of Florida, and we are more than willing to be there for you.
Mm.
And I think most recently I saw a doula line. So Nicole, after this, I'll try to get that over there to you.
Okay, that'll be great. We got Miss She Speaks Solutions, Miss Tina out of Tampa area. She said, great topic. Love the knowledge given. Appreciate you being here. So, all right. So we got to dive back into this topic of our bodies belonging to
Yes.
our bodies belonging to us, and restoring Black autonomy, and Black joy. Now, I know we've heard Black joy quite a bit, after the pandemic. I say after, but in the midst of the pandemic, and particularly with the death of George Floyd and
Yeah.
Breonna Taylor and Ahmaud Arbery. And so, why is that important as it relates to Black maternal health?
So I feel like with that, we can directly align that with Black maternal health, because we're seeing that the world isn't valuing us for who we are, right? So that directly affects the mom. Think about those of us who have sat through some of this recently, and the trauma that we have endured. And then we have to imagine those that belong within those families, or within those cities that these deaths are happening. How are they affected? So then we also have to think, how are their eggs affected, or how are their babies affected if they're pregnant? How does that affect how you parent? How does that affect you bringing a child into the world? I've heard moms say, I'm scared. I don't know what the world is going to do to my child. So in
Mm,
bringing back that Black joy with Black maternal health, it really is starting before we have our babies, but especially during our pregnancy, enjoying the journey,
mhm.
enjoying it, knowing that this is natural, that your body can do this, that you are made to do this. Your body knows exactly what it wants to do and how to do it. It knows when baby's going to come. And then it produces the greatest milk ever, to help you nurse your child. So I believe with everything that's going on, especially during those times with the Black deaths that we definitely experienced,
Mm,
we were definitely adversely affected. The Black woman has been the pillar for the community for centuries. We have been the backbone of the Black community. And so seeing our men, killed for decades has
yeah,
affected us. It has affected us. And we have to take ownership of that. That, yes, that trauma lives and we know it's there. But taking
mhm,
ownership of that is by saying, I'm not going to allow that trauma to continue. I'm going to
yeah,
stop this trauma with me and with my baby.
yeah. Very good points. we do have to, do our best to fight through the negativity and the trauma and the um just some of the adverse experiences that we've had here, um as women, as Black women specifically. So we do have a few comments. Magnolia Hood, who is here in Tallahassee, she's a clinician here. She says she did not know doulas were covered on Medicaid.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am. Please, please. The Doula Network is one organization, but United Healthcare, um, what is the other? Sunshine Health. They all provide doula coverage.
That's great. And Marjorie is on. Thank you for being here. Marjorie said, "You are incoherent, exhausted, and there is so much chaos. They push C-sections due to impatience and not necessity. I wish I knew we had this coverage. It would have been a game changer in my traumatic birthing experience." Mm, wow.
Marjorie, you are the reason why I got into this work. You are the
Mm,
reason why I started to do this because I
mm,
feel like every Black woman deserves to have a positive birthing experience. You are spot on with C-sections are due to impatience and not necessity. That's why doula is so important. Come to your home and we can help you birth at home. We can get that
mhm,
process started and get you right up to where you can go to the hospital so you're not there so long that they start to try to push that cesarean on you.
mm.
And it is definitely a game changer. We presence. I have seen rooms shift. I walk in and like it's like, oh, she's here. Yep, I'm here. It's me. So I've seen it happen, and when they do, it's always, I have a great relationship with the hospitals here, but I cannot say I have not seen rooms shift once I walk in.
Hmm. Wow. That's powerful. All right. Brasida is on. Thank you for being here. Deborah said trauma in the womb affects the baby and it continues if the environment doesn't change for the better. All right. So
And that
folks are
is the
chiming
truth.
in
Yeah,
on
yeah.
the overcome the womb trauma.
Yes, Mama Yana, got to get over that wound trauma. We have to come over that hill, but that's going to come with community.
Mm-hmm.
Community is what we need right now. We need community.
Yeah, indeed. All right, we got Miss Teresa Nix on with us here tonight in Tallahassee. Thank you for being here. She said, "How does the doula ensure that the mom patient is being heard and respected?"
So before we even get to your delivery, we create a birth plan. And in that birth plan, I have what happen, and then I have what you call a what if. What if something goes wrong? What are we going to do? These birth plans are then given to the nursing staff, the OB staff, and they know what you have. But then me personally as a doula, I also have a safe word. My safe word is always pineapples. So if my client says pineapples, I asked the nursing staff if they could step out for a moment, and me and my client will talk and we will have a discussion about what they want, how they want it to happen. And then I will empower them to have that discussion once we receive the nurses and the OBs back into the room.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I told you, well, look, we're powerful little humans out here.
Clearly. I didn't know
Powerful.
these types of things were going on. Okay. Nice, nice, nice.
Yes,
And
yes,
so
yes.
let me ask you this. Have you run into any incidents where maybe you weren't taken seriously as a doula or not respected by the medical staff that was present?
I did at first,
Mhm,
locally. I did. I had that problem at first, but once I acknowledged who they were, I respected their positions as a nurse, as the OB.
mhm,
I also commanded my respect too, because
mm,
without me, my client is going to get up and leave. Like you're not going to be here. So just respect the process. And like I said, now I have a great relationship with Capital and TMH. I'm known. They know who I am. And that comes from having conversations with them and respecting them too. So if there's something that they're saying and I don't understand or my client doesn't understand, I ask, like,
mhm,
hey, can you explain that to us? Help us understand. And so it kind of builds that trust. I always have a saying that I move at the speed of trust. That is how I move. That's how I operate as a human. So I definitely feel like it's just you have to build that relationship. And that's why mentorship is so important in the doula space as
mhm,
well. Because as new doulas come on, those of us who've been doing it for a while, I feel like it is our responsibility to guide those new ones into this space and to help them command that room and command that space in the hospitals to respect them. I don't feel like it's fair to leave any of the new doulas out there without that assistance. And so I am often very much so on call if a new doula is like, hey, I need you to come help me. And I make my way to help as much as I can.
That's good to know. Magnolia, I see your question, but I want to mention Shanae's really quick. She said, I'm a 2-time preeclampsia survivor, 2 emergency C-sections. Both of my babies were born prematurely and had significant NICU stays. I'm certain that my experiences would have been different with doula support.
Oh
Yes.
man, Miss Shanae. I could not even imagine.
Indeed.
I couldn't. Yeah. I had a client that had to go through it, but that support, even when she came out, she was in recovery and I was right there by her side, and I stayed by her side until I think her baby was about 6 months old. I think she saw me a couple of weeks ago.
Wow.
But yeah.
Yeah. So Magnolia's question is, what is womb trauma?
So as Black women, we are born with our eggs. And unfortunately, due to the trauma that has been kind of forced upon us systematically, we carry that within our eggs. We carry that trauma. So self-care, mental health care, understanding the traumas that you have prior to having your children are extremely important, but even more important when you do have your child. So that is kind of what womb trauma is. It's that just a trauma that, we carry naturally, unfortunately, but what we do is what is the key to that.
Good. Thank you for asking that. I was gonna bring that up. Amayada mentioned, she said that was inherited, your ancestors' trauma from this womb, what they went through and how they got through it. Yes. Thank you for sharing that. All right, Sam, you had a question. He said, is it tough on doulas when moms giving birth don't have the support they need at home? Good question.
It can be, but I really love the Tallahassee community because we have several groups here, M3 being one of them. We have our starts in Gaston and in Leon, that I feel like can kind of surround that mom and community. But we have to tap on those resources. We have to get those resources to moms. So that's why Conversations with Nicole is a big deal, because it gets those resources out and people know that they are available in our community. So it can be tough on a doula, but doula self-care is real. I am taking a mini break in June to support myself because I'm having a lot of births lately. And so I'm going to take a moment and do some self-care personally. But it's important. And I tell people all the time, self-care can look like getting some candy and sitting outside in your car. Hey, whatever you have to do.
Whatever you have to do. Indeed. Yeah. All right. We got Mr. Johnny Johnson on, and he wants to know, how do you know if you need this support?
So I feel like I'm a baby stalker. I walk around, I'm like, are you pregnant? You need a doula. So I say that. I feel like everybody needs a doula.
Yeah, y'all. She was explaining to me the other day. She's like, she see women that are pregnant. She's like, you got a doula? She asked them all, you got a doula? So everybody.
I asked her real quick. Everybody.
Right. Everybody.
Yeah.
I mean,
and I tell them all the time, even if it can't be me, I will find you one.
Indeed. Yes. Yada said, thank you for the shout out. So that may have gone over y'all's head, but M3 is Melanin Mothers Meet, which is the organization that Yada is the founder and executive director of. So she and the M3 sisters do a great job of supporting melanin mothers in our area. So yes. All right. Yeah, she's laughing at you calling yourself a baby stalker, but yeah, I think that there needs to be a shirt like that, like doula, aka baby stalker, or something like that. Yeah. Indeed. So Johnny, you may be just joining us, but yes, some insurances do cover doula work. Medicaid does in Florida. I think you said one of 4 states.
Yes, I believe we're one of 4 states. That was a big
Mhm.
push. And Florida, we don't get a lot of accolades lately, but we will take this one.
Mhm.
But yes, we are leading the nation actually in providing doula services covered under Medicaid.
Indeed, indeed. And then there are some like was it Sunshine Health and some
Sunshine
others.
Health, United Health. Yeah, there are a couple that do. But I would definitely say contact your insurance company and ask. And then
Yeah.
most of my doula friends and those that I work alongside, we offer sliding scales. We're not here, of course we want to be paid for our services, but most of us are in
Mhm.
this work for the pure joy, and we want to ensure that Black mommies and Black babies make it here. I want everybody to have a doula. That's my ultimate goal. Everybody needs to have a doula.
Indeed, indeed. All right, so we are about halfway in. So I just want to pause and let those of you who may be just joining us know that I am on with Keshia Jenkins. We are talking Black maternal health because April 11th through the 17th is Black Maternal Health Week. And the theme for this year is Our Bodies Belong to Us, Restoring Black Autonomy and Black Joy. And so we've been talking about the difference between a midwife and a doula, what doulas do, and some of the insurance surrounding that, and wound trauma. So these are all things we've just kind of talked about in the first half of the show. So when we again talk about Black maternal health, I know infant mortality is something that comes up oftentimes when we talk about that. And so, do doulas assist with maybe, again, I know prior to the delivery, there's birth and plan and that sort of thing, but what other assistance do doulas provide mothers in terms of support, prior to the actual delivery?
So, for me and my training, we do talk about mental health. Mental health and
Mm,
safe sleep are two of my main top. Um, Safe sleep is personal for me, so safe sleep is definitely a top for me. We discuss what safe sleep looks like. If they don't have access to a crib or a playpen, I am quick to call Healthy Start and have them on speed dial to get them a playpen or a crib, but also mental health. So I talk to moms about what can happen, what your body is doing, what's really happening in there, your organs, how everything is happening, how your brain composition is changing, how that may look. And then I go all the way through delivery and postpartum. I saw Marjorie ask, so I go up to 6 weeks. If a mother leaves me longer, I can go up to 6 months, but my contract is 6 weeks. But I visit a mother twice before birth. I do birth, and then I actually visit mom 4 times post. And
okay.
that is because I am looking at their mental health. And I don't go in and talk to mom all the time. Sometimes I just go in and wash dishes.
Hmm.
Yeah. I'm really there for support. But I think we were going to talk a little bit later about full spectrum, and that's where you kind of get into the postpartum doula work. And
Hmm.
postpartum doulas, oh yeah, you can hire us and we'll come hang out with you for 6 weeks, and you can have us all night long. Like it's a different level when you get into postpartum work. But I think that it's important to have those conversations about what is going on, what's normal, what is not normal, and who you can call if you're feeling these different feelings.
Hmm. For sure. Yeah, there are some clinicians that work in the postpartum space or in perinatal is, their specialty. So you definitely
Yeah.
want to reach out to them if, you're having some postpartum, depression, mental I don't want to call it illness, but you're just not mentally healthy.
Yeah.
Definitely want to get some support as it relates to that. So Marjorie, I hope that answered your question. All right. Deborah said support system is vital for mental health. Absolutely.
Oh, completely. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. And Yada said proper postpartum care is the key to your forever. For sure. For sure. For sure. For sure. Yeah. Yeah. Because there's a lot that goes on, giving
Yeah.
birth and, having that support. Because I hadn't realized it until I got into deeper into the mental health space, but mothers go through PTSD.
Yes, they do.
Mhm,
Yes, they do. And your
mhm,
birthing experience, talking about how the doulas and that autonomy, your birthing experience can directly lead to how you handle the postpartum experience. If it was traumatic, unfortunately, um you may be susceptible to a little more of the postpartum or baby blues that you may encounter
mhm,
versus if it was something that was joyful or something that you wanted. So it's your birthing experience is directly linked to your postpartum mentality and how you are able to handle postpartum care. you
mhm.
know it's really important.
Yes. Briseda said, it's so important to mother the mother during the fourth trimester.
Yes, yes.
Yes, yes, yes. So tell them what the fourth trimester is.
Oh, that's after baby was born. That is those 6 weeks. That is when everything changes. You're no longer carrying around your baby with you in your belly, but more so in your arms. And
Mhm,
they're crying and things just change. And Mercedes is right. That is when they need us. That's when they need us the most. I feel like post doula is activated to the 10th power.
mhm,
Because at that point we are helping you with nursing, feeding not just yourself but baby as well. And we're just able to see things that others may not see. And because we're that trusted member of your community, you are willing to be more open with us, and we are able to access those resources for you, without the negativity that may come along with it. We know that mental health in the Black community is always kind of like a taboo. So just kind of having that trusted member of your birthing team,
mhm,
to say, "Hey sis, let's check this out, babe. Let's go." And I'll go with you. I've attended doctor's appointments, I will go with you, in that space.
mhm.
So just understanding that a doula doesn't end at birth. We're there to hold space with you as long as you need us to. Um, and we become a member of your family. We really do. I get pictures of my baby's first birthdays all the time, and it's actually quite fun.
Nice, 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 nice. All right. Shanae said, "Woo, I was a mess when I had my first daughter. I developed major anxiety due to my milk supply being low. I had always planned to nurse, but neither of my daughters ever latched on. I pumped for as long as I could, but I really beat myself up that I was not able to nurse my babies in the way I had always hoped I could."
Yeah.
Oh man, Shanae, sorry to hear that, and definitely understand your desire to want to do that. And it's okay to grieve that as well, especially since that was something that you had really longed to do. So we just are holding space for you right now as it relates to that, and just sending you lots of love at this moment. All right, Johnny. Yes, there is a certification. Johnny, I'm gonna have you go back and watch the beginning. We talked about this already, sir. Yes, there is a certification to be a doula. Tell you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Sure, Mr. Johnny. Most doula certifications, we do a 3-day intense trainings, but they're the year long before you're completely certified. So within those 3 days, you become temporarily certified. But within that year, we have readings we have to do. We have to attend childbirth education classes. We have to attend first aid CPR classes. We have to attend classes on safe sleep and mental health and webinars. I mean, it's a host of classes, as well as we have to be mentored and attend births before we are considered a completely certified doula. There are several agencies that certify doulas. You have DONA, which is a nationally recognized and one of the longest standing doula organizations. I am certified under Southern Birth Justice, which is a black owned doula certification down in Miami. I'm certified under them. It's full spectrum. And then I'm also certified as a community doula, which is something that's newer, but it's still the same certifications. You still have to go through everything else, but it's more of a way to bring in more community members or women in the communities to become certified.
Okay. So, what's the cost associated with that?
Okay. Yeah, you're looking at you're looking at thousands of dollars. I'm being
Ooh,
honest. Yeah, it's not cheap.
okay.
Dona is over $1,000. Southern Birth Justice was over $1,000. But Florida, again, thank you, Florida. We're doing some great things. Some of our Healthy Start coalitions have been offering community doula trainings on scholarship. So as long as you have an interest in wanting to do it, they find the funding to get you certified. So why
Mm,
not do it? I got a call today from one of the companies I'm contracted with, and they said, "Hey, do you know anyone who wants to be certified? We'll help train them." So
mhm.
I made a phone call and got her on the phone with them. But it's if you want to be trained, there are scholarships and money available out there to get you trained.
Okay, that's good to know. Good to know. All right, so we got Dr. Harrison on saying, "Hey, Keshia." All right, and cousin Denise said she came all the way from Germany to have her baby, and her mother and grandmother and sister and brothers were there with her all the way. Listen, that's great. If you can have that kind of support, that is wonderful. But everybody doesn't have that. So, and even if they do, it's still good to have some other support.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
because it's community. All right, Magnolia said, "Woo." Now thinking about the impact of being a teen mom, which Magnolia was a teen mom. She was on the show not long ago. She says so much that comes back to me as I listen to this conversation. Yeah. And Keisha, if you would just kind of speak to this briefly before talking about full spectrum, you know, we as a community, we were just that, a community. So if someone was having a baby, you know, we all rallied around this woman to make sure this baby was birthed. And again, the mother was okay. So it wasn't just the responsibility of the, you know, nucleus family, the husband, or or the father of the baby, and the parents of the birthing mother. It was community. And so in many regards we've kind of gotten away from that. But to me, like, doulas are really an extension of that, like almost a reinstitution of that. And so, yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. I asked you to talk
No,
about it.
you're good. No, Nicole, you're good because it really aligns with what we're talking about that black joy, right? Like during that time we had the community, we had pride and joy. Even if the mom was like 13 or 14 having a baby, it was still the whole community was like, we got you. We're here to hold you. And that's what the doula is bringing back. We're bringing that back. I think it's so important that we remember that at one point we were a community. We leaned on each other. Some of the things that we're experiencing, mental health and some of the teen pregnancies, even in our children, is because we lost that joy. We lost that community. So we have to bring back that community. And it's so real for me because I do this for that reason. I do it because I love the community. I love connecting people. And now I'm seeing more and more people in our community becoming doulas or being interested in Black maternal health and trying to bring back just that feeling. When you come home with baby, back in the day, everybody was at the house cooking. You came home and baby was sitting with grandma and you were having a meal and taking a bath. And, even if grandma had to bathe you and take care of you and nurture you and love,
Yes.
so important. And so happy to hear that we are getting back to that. And,
Mhm.
we love the daddies, and I am big on it. Like, I say the moms too, but I am good for the room. I will get daddy, say, you hold that leg and I hold this one. So not leaving them out of for sure. Not trying to leave them out of the conversation, but they need that love too. And I think that some of the new initiatives that we have coming out with the initiatives are going to mimic what we're doing with the moms.
Mm-hmm. So someone texted me and said, "Men are pregnant too. This is something in support. This is something supporting fathers experience with the pregnant mothers of their children. Remember, no matter what, we need both. Absolutely, we need both.
Oh, of
Um,
course. Of
yes. So
course.
they are not excluded. They are not excluded. So as you,
Not at
I mean, you.
all. And I tell people all the time, I've been in more rooms with daddies and mommies than I've been with just mommies. And that says a lot,
Right.
because they want to say the Black man is not there. And I can attest to majority of my births, daddy and mommy is in the room. And so it's a lot of fun to bring dad in at the birthing stage. I would love to see more dads involved in the prenatal stage. So when I'm having those conversations with mom about her labor and her birth plan, I would love for dad to be there so that I can know what dad wants to see. And does he want skin to skin? Because sometimes dad don't even know that's an option. Like, you can take your shirt off too, daddy. You can have skin to skin with baby.
Right.
So I'm laughing because someone in the comments said her husband was a mess.
Yeah, Denise was a mess.
And that was funny.
It's all right. Less is hard. Less is hard. All right. Yada said, definitely community. Seeing that support up close and personal is another level of elevation in our Black and brown communities. Absolutely. All right. Yes, she agreed. So they can be in tune more, talking about the fathers. And so glad to be here for this live. Thank you. Appreciate you being here as well. All right. So talk about full spectrum, yes, full service.
So full spectrum doulas. So
Yes.
as we were talking about maternal death rates and infant mortality, there
Mm-hmm.
are doulas and there are different categories. Doulas who are they're there for the birth. They do birth, they do prenatal, some postpartum, they birth. You have postpartum doulas who only strictly do postpartum. They come in and they're there for the postpartum side. But then you also have death doulas for if there's an infant loss or a maternal mom loss. And you have abortion doulas. So if mom goes the route of wanting to have an abortion, she can still be supported with a doula, and that is a full spectrum doula. That is someone who is certified in each and every one of those areas. And I say this because it's so true, and I think that more of us need to be completely certified because you never know the outcome sometimes when you go into the hospital, especially if it's a preterm baby. And you want to be able to take off certain hats and put on certain hats and be able to still support mom in that space and be trained to support mom in that space. So that is a full spectrum. Look, Mr. Johnny is coming for us, Nicole.
Johnny is my question.
Okay.
He got all the questions, but I love it. So
I love him. Yeah.
It,
so, Mr. Johnny, I don't know the percentage off the top of my head, but I will tell you that a recent training I did alongside my first male doula ever, and he is in Tallahassee. So I was completely excited. Yes. Like, if anyone knows Dr. B, shout out to Dr. B. Dr. B is a certified doula, guys. And so I was so excited to train
Dr. B. Adam.
Yes.
What?
Yes. He trained next to me.
I had him on my show last June. I'm gonna have to have him come back on. It's the Black male doula. I love
he
it.
He is Tallahassee's Black male doula.
I love it. Okay, that's what's up. I'm gonna have to reach out to him. All right,
yes,
Dr. B.
yes.
Everybody shouting him out. All right. Sherry Sutton Johnson, who was also a clinician here, she said, my best friend was my doula. Her support was phenomenal. She involved my husband throughout the process. And thank you for being here from Chattahoochee, Florida. All right. So Marjorie said mine looked confused the entire time. He looked flushed. I thought he would pass out, and I was the one pushing. I wish I had a doula. Bless they
Listen, more times than not, the dads look flush. But I am just as joyful as I see him on the screen. Just imagine me inside of a room. I'm like, okay, daddy, come on.
Mhm.
Let's go, so I'm very big about involving the dad in the process.
Indeed, indeed. Yes, she said you're welcome. Um, Dr. Harrison said, Pop says that he loves you and is proud of you. Okay.
Those are my adopted parents.
Okay,
Hey.
that's cool. That's cool. Love it, love it, love it. Wow, I am just kind of blown away by this full spectrum piece that I was not expecting you to mention all of that, but I can definitely see that being some need for work. Both the pregnancy termination as well as um pregnancy
Infant loss.
loss. Yeah,
Yeah,
infant
yeah,
loss.
yeah.
And so does there is in terms of the full spectrum certification, is that a longer training period?
Yeah, you still within that 1 year. I'm not gonna say it's a longer training period, but it's a more intense. So you're
Okay.
because you have to do readings on each area on top of birth. So it's a little more intense.
Mm-hmm.
But it's rewarding.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely rewarding.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. Wow. All right. Did we miss anything? Anything else that is pressing that you wish to share? This has
I
really been a great discussion and quite informative. If I look back at the comments on the number of things that people said they didn't know, they didn't know, they didn't know. So a number of things we didn't know, but this has been quite informative. So yeah. Any closing remarks that you wish to share?
If you're pregnant, find a doula. And if you can't find one, find me and I will find you one.
Indeed, 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 indeed. So I'm gonna ask Mama Yada to in the comments share her event coming up because I know she has I think like a week's worth of events, and I'll be moderating
Yes.
one of her events. So if you will in the comments share if you're still on, share the dates and times and locations. I'll be sharing the events in my stories on Instagram and Facebook. But again, April 11th through the 17th is Black Maternal Health Week. If you go to blackmamasmatter.org, which is the Black Mamas Matter Alliance, they have a whole host of information related to Black Maternal Health Week. April 11th actually is the International Day for Maternal Health and Rights. And so, they talk about this theme and they have a toolkit and events that are being held, and you can do a Black maternal health walk, and they have a call to action and so on and so forth. So, there's a whole movement around Black maternal health. So definitely want to, be a resource and raise awareness in this space, especially for doulas of color. And so I'm so grateful to you, Keshia, for being here and for all of the things that you are doing in the community, and just again raising awareness, holding space for Black moms and their families and their babies, their unborn babies and born babies. So yeah,
Yes.
for sure, for sure, for sure. So tell folks how they can connect with you.
On Instagram, I am KMJ the Advocate. Same thing, KMJ Advocate. Facebook, it is KIMJJAY. My LinkedIn is my first and last name. name. Feel free to reach me at any of those. My first and last name at gmail.com. And I am more than willing to help you. If I don't know, let us know. But Nicole, I wanted to tell you,
Yeah.
Melanin Mothers were able to secure a proclamation
Oh,
for
yes.
Tallahassee for Black Maternal Health Week. And
Yeah.
yes, I think that is absolutely amazing. And I think that everyone should know that city behind us in this. And so that is wonderful to know.
Indeed. 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 Congratulations for the victory yesterday. What happened yesterday? Did we miss it?
I don't
What
know.
happened yesterday, Johnny? You got me curious. What happened? Let me say hey to Beverly, who is tuning in for Virginia. She said she'll catch the replay. And Oz, he said, nice conversation on the D note. Okay. All right. Thank you. I appreciate it. So if you all have found this to be beneficial, let us know in the comments by giving us a heart or a
Yeah.
thumbs up or a clap or something. Let us know in the comments. And I want to encourage us to keep this conversation going because again, this has been quite informative. I mean, I knew some things, but I learned a whole lot tonight. I mean, I got notes here. So, oh, LSU.
Well, I mean, they did win though.
All right. Johnny, come on, focus, stay with us. All right. So, Denise gave us some hearts. Thank you, Denise. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank
Oh, yes. Thank you all for your interest in this topic, your attentiveness, your questions, your comments. We really appreciate it. Again, this is a safe space. I hope that you benefited from the dialogue and share this with somebody. Share this with your expected mothers in your lives, right? And let them know they need to get a doula.
Mm-hmm.
They need to get a doula. They need to check their health
Yeah, and I
plan.
mean, and tell the babies too. Tell the
Mhm.
babies too. My kids are fully aware. They are your client. Okay, look, tell the babies get a doula. Get a doula when you decide to have a kid.
Get a doula. Get a doula.
Get a
All right.
doula. Get a
Yes.
doula.
My mom said very informative and invited and
Thank
vital
you.
conversation. Thank you, Mom. Sherry's
Thank
giving us a
you.
hand clap. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. We really do. So I gotta mention for those of you who are again new to the platform, definitely invite you to subscribe to the Conversations with Nicole YouTube channel. We are live on Greater Works Network. If you have a Roku TV player or stick, you can add Greater Works Network to your channel options. And every time you turn on the TV, we'll be right there. So we are here on Mondays and Wednesdays at 8:30 talking about mental health in Black and Brown communities specifically. And then finally, season 12 of Conversations with Nicole comes out every Friday for 10 weeks. We are in week 4 coming up on Friday. We have Dot Emmon Johnson, first African American female woman to be elected mayor of City of Tallahassee. And so she wrote a book about first Blacks in Tallahassee in September of last year. And so we talk a little bit about that and some other history. So you definitely want to check that out. She will be on at 7 a.m. on Friday, but you can always catch the replay on Conversations with Nicole YouTube. All right. So Marjorie said, absolutely, we'll be sharing great information. Thank you, Marjorie, for being here
Thank
as
you.
usual. Marjorie, Magnolia loved it. Dr. Harrison loved it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate you. All right. So again, Keisha, Jay, Calendar Girl, Miss April. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
You are so welcome. All right, good people. We will catch you all later. Have a great rest of the evening. Bye.